Alright, so for whatever reason, the developers decided to drop the patch for the Marauders update a little bit earlier than usual, a full day ahead of schedule. As you can see, we have the tier 4 coming for Professor X, the tier 3 coming for Kitty Pryde with 2 new uniforms. Now keep in mind that there's not going to be any maintenance period for this update. It's just going to be a rolling patch. So in about 6 hours after you watch this video, this update is going to start going live for some people. Basically just refresh your game and eventually you'll get a pop-up saying you need to download about maybe 100 megabytes, and then that will be the update that you can purchase the uniform. So first and foremost, we have Professor X. His uniform natively is going to be 1750. As expected, it's going to be on sale for 1050, and they're going to be giving him chain hit damage and immunity to guard break. That's what you like to see. The extra damage and the utility that comes from immunity to guard break is actually really good. So we have Cerebral Scan, which is decent. 100% ignore dodge is amazing. 80% penetration is also really good. I like to see penetration somewhere else in this kit though. 30% chance to penetrate mild immunity is not that great. 90% chance to be immune to mind damage makes sense. It's a Professor X. We have mind damage 35%, skill damage and bonus damage 30 and 35. Damage reduction is good for PvE and PvP. We have snare, not really that useful to be honest. We have paralysis though, that's pretty good. We have a heal 20%. We have all attack, all speed and critical rate here. Incapacitation as well. The fourth skill has immunity for 3 seconds, which is kind of yikes when you consider the cooldown time of 16 seconds. And then he also has a 50% attack buff for 5 seconds. Overall, this is not looking so good for Professor X. It's definitely not the direction I wanted them to go. It's what I said they would do. More of the same. He's already a PvE character, so they're gonna basically make him a better version of what is already there. Pathetic. I would have liked to see him step into the PvP arena, something like iframe ignore, counter attack, penetration on a couple of his skills, or at least natively. Unfortunately, that's not the case. His fifth skill gives him fracture, which he didn't have before. He keeps the silence, the invincibility, and the damage accumulation. And this is on a slightly shorter cooldown period. Before it was 17 seconds. Now it's 15 seconds. Moving on, we have Kitty Pryde. Her uniform is also 1050, and her uniform bonus is very interesting. We've never seen them do this before. Invisibility and ignore targeting for 5 seconds. And then she has a 100% chance to be immune to all damage, but it's 1 second. And this is every 20 seconds when she's hit. This might last a little bit longer. It might be one of those refreshing buffs that actually lasts for about 5 seconds, because that otherwise it doesn't make sense. Why would this be 5 seconds when this is 1 second? Like 1 second goes by in the blink of an eye. Like it doesn't make sense. Moving on, we have her leadership, which they decided to increase by 5%. Huh? Literally 5%. You can't make this stuff up, bro. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have Mutant Alliance, which is her new 4-star passive, which now grants her skill damage and bonus damage, 30% for both. It also summons Lockheed with 100% of her attack and defense and 150% of Kitty's HP. Previously, this also gave you extra damage to machine types. I like to see the skill damage and bonus damage. That should definitely bump up her DPS a little bit. As for her tier 2 passive, literally all they're doing is increasing the guaranteed dodge from 25% to 30%.
In my eyes, you will always be lame.
The rest of the tier 2 passive is exactly the same. That's actually kind of crazy. It was already really good, but I think what they could have did here is just add invincibility as well, so she penetrates everything. 80% chance to penetrate natively is really good though. It's rare to see these days. The first skill is just kind of useless, I'm not gonna lie. Second skill has fracture and burn. That's actually pretty useful. Then we have burn, we have a heal, we have immunity. Fourth skill has all attack and all defense. We have critical rate here as well. 15 seconds, 12 seconds, 10 seconds. Decent cooldown times. 16 seconds. She has damage accumulation here. She has silence, burn, invincibility for 3 seconds. The thing with Kitty Pryde has always been the gaps in her iframes. I like the fact that she now has immunity and invincibility in her kit, so that's actually pretty good. It will definitely make keeping her alive a little bit easier, especially with that 20% heal. Moving on, let's see her tier 3 skill. Looks pretty cool. Hopefully it's cancelable, and also hopefully they took my advice and made Lockheed a summon that is not targetable. We'll see. So 80% ignore dodge, invincibility for 8 seconds, 100%. Okay, so it looks like you're gonna proc on a tier 3 because there's the 100% proc unless you can cancel it instantly, but I don't think so. Professor X now has tier 4, increases all elemental damage by 75%, and then it does 180% mind damage, okay, off his energy attack. Okay, it looks meh. It looks interesting. Okay, I don't want to roast them, but like, yikes. Anyways, moving on. Professor X is getting an artifact, so is Kitty Pryde. Let's see what's here for Professor X. Increases mind damage by 30% of mind resistance, and then increases basic damage dealt to alien characters by 15%. Lazy. I'm just gonna say that. Kitty Pryde, 20% extra damage to supervillains, and then damage reduction to supervillains. Also kind of lazy. Moving on, for any of you guys who actually spend money on the game or plan to spend money on the game with this update, they're actually buffing the loyalty reward in the shop. So as you can see right here, let me just jump in game real quick. If you're one of the whales that like to whale on Marvel Future Fight, when you come in here and you hit the loyalty button down here, as you can see before, these were the rewards. And they decided to include some better ones like Odin's Blessings and the Titan Record, so that's actually pretty good. However, my guess is because people haven't been spending a lot of money on the game lately, that's why they're deciding to buff these loyalty rewards so they can reward people who are actually spending money on the game or entice people to actually spend money on the game. I think what they should do though is honestly add more content. Instead of just doing these generic updates that we've gotten used to, they need to do a little bit more, man. Let's be real, they're not even listening to the player base. People wanted to see Cassie Lang awaken or tier 3. They didn't give us that. They didn't give us anything for Nadia Van Dyne. They didn't give us Kang. Like, they're not speaking to the community at all. They're just doing whatever they feel like, and these updates just feel like it's out of nowhere.
Cry me a river. Go on and cry me a river.
Professor X coming in the month of February when there's the Ant-Man and the Wasp update, it just doesn't make sense. People love Professor X, so they're gonna spend money to get Professor X tier 4. Hopefully he's strong enough to challenge Storm, so he's ABX meta. Otherwise, the entire month of February is just a skip. It's crazy. How are you going to run a business and not listen to your customers and give them an update and expect them to spend money on the game for stuff that they don't need? Like, it actually makes no sense. Anyways, moving on. As you can see, we have a 7-day check-in event coming with a gold bonus event mission. We have a ranking and growth event. Down here, you get a closer look at Professor X and Kitty Pryde. She also has a tattoo on her hand that says fast. I don't know if that's a play on words because she's a speed character or if it means that she gives up the box easy. Okay, I don't know. Moving on. We also have a 40% discount coming for all of the uniforms. As you can see right here, we have the growth event for Professor X and then Kitty Pryde. We have some free rewards for upgrading the uniforms. And then down here, as you can see, Kitty Pryde's ranking event. The gold spending event mission, this is what it looks like. These are the rewards that are coming. And then they're going to be giving away rank 1 Black Antimatter and Chaos Normstone as a surprise gift. You can't make this stuff up, bro. We're in 2023. Tier 4 is the new thing, and they're still giving out tier 2 materials as a gift. You can't make this stuff up, bro. People are sitting on maybe 200,000-300,000 Black Antimatter, and likewise for Chaos Normstone, since you use them significantly less often than Black Antimatter. And this is what they're still giving out as a gift.
Let me put it in a language you can understand. Oh, so sorry. No charm here. You deliver. Wrong place.
I'm telling you guys, these guys are running the game on autopilot. Right now, they're probably just running at pure profit and investing as little as possible. There's also an unequipping event for your artifact. And then down here, as you can see, this is the reward for the 7-day check-in event. So you're going to be getting 200 X genes. However, you cannot use this on Kitty Pryde or Professor X. Realistically, it doesn't even make any sense. It's not useful to you at all. And for those of you guys who didn't have Professor X, as you can see, they're bringing him back and he's on sale for a whopping 4,500 crystal.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
This is absolutely mental. They need to cut the cost of this to 2,500. Come on, dog. You gotta be kidding me. A tier 2 character, I know he's rare, but 4,500 crystals just to get this man. Then you're gonna have to buy his uniform and then possibly invest in a tier 4 package, which is like $100 to get him up to tier 4. He has to be better than Storm, because if he's not better than Storm, what is the purpose of even giving him tier 4? And if someone doesn't have have him, what is the purpose of them spending all of these crystals? Makes absolutely no sense to me. Now, this event took me as a bit of a surprise. They're bringing back the art book comic card set, and as you can see right here, it's gonna be $100. You get 2,000 crystals. You get one of the art book guaranteed. Personally, if you're going after the art book comic cards, or if you're just missing one in particular, I would wait until the anniversary, but it's up to you guys. If you're trying to complete the full set, then you're missing multiple, then maybe this is a good deal to you. And this is how you know sales are down for February, because they're actually bringing back something that only comes around for anniversary and Black Friday. As you can see right here, 5 and 6 star artifacts are going to be in the shop for the next couple days. So if you want to gamble and get some artifacts, go ahead and do that, because all of them are going to be available. For me, I'll probably skip over this and I'll wait until the anniversary, because I think gambling or spending excessively on this February update might send the wrong message. It might let them know, hey, we can just get away with just being super duper lazy.